Well, my guest today is Mrs. Edizemi Onilenla. I hope I got that right. Sorry, I had to stumble over that and what have you, but all the same, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And I know you have a brand name too.
That is Mama She.
Mama She. What's Mama She all about?
Okay, so first, thanks for having me.
Yes.
The name is Mrs. Edizemi Onilenla.
All right.
So Mama She is a brand name. So I have a food business in Ireland,
Okay.
and so Mama She will be the brand name for that business,
That's right.
which is under Mansions Food. So Mama She was coined out of a nickname given to me by my husband. So he calls me She. His friend calls me Mama. So all together it's called Mama She. So that was how it came about Mama She.
All right. You have been in the diaspora for a while. Tell us a bit from the difference that you have seen about the food consumed in Ireland and what you were used to here before you moved overseas.
Generally, the Irish people will be, the Irish potatoes. So they do with potato, they could do so many things. So they will have potato soup. They derive chips from it. So the potatoes can be done in so many different ways. Just like the way we do our yam, the porridge, yam and sauce and all of that. So
as you were, if you visit malls in Nigeria, we have Indian cuisines, Chinese cuisines, Brazilian cuisines. You get all sorts. But can you say same of our cuisines on stalls, in malls and in restaurants and what have you overseas?
Absolutely not. I discovered that we don't have much of African food on the European, on the Irish stores, shelves. So I decided to do a bit of a research. What is it that can be generally acceptable? So I found out that they have something called the beef jerky, which is similar to kilishi. Kilishi is our own dry beef strips here. But then they have what is called biltong, which is the South African product. So when I tasted it, I'm like, okay, kilishi is similar to kilishi, but it's still very different from kilishi. So I started doing that research. I made samples of the kilishi and I give to friends, I give to colleagues. They like it. So I started packaging it. It took me almost 7 years to actually be able to get kilishi into the real size of kilishi. So, and from then on, I started, I link with an organization over there. So we have in each of the counties, we have what is called the local business enterprise office. So they help businesses, small businesses to grow. So that was how I started, I went in there, I did a program through one of the big superstore that we have here. They are called Super Value Store. So I did a program with them. And from there, I pitched my business, which is the production of kilishi from start to finish, packaging and all of that, and then suya. Normally, the people on the course were about 15 that did that course. So they said they will give you, if you become successful, they give you 10 of their stores. They have about 250 stores in Ireland, so which is great, Right. So, and they give you 10 to start, selling your products. You display it on the shelf.
Just to test run.
But yeah, just to. So for me, instead of giving me 10, they gave me 1. So I said, don't worry. One is just enough for me to start because I know that I have something good to present.
That's right.
So I was so happy that I got it. And I did remember this was on the 18th of September 2019, shortly before the COVID, that our first product went on the shelf. So we had kilishi. I didn't come with it this time around. We had kilishi displayed, on the shelf, and it was quite emotional for me because that was the first time you will see an African product go on the shelf of an Irish store. So we have suya and kilishi. That kilishi alone can be a great source of revenue for Nigeria, if anywhere in the world, not just Ireland, if only we can do it, package it to international standards. I believe that there's so much in common between Nigeria and Ireland. The space is available there. The space is big. The opportunities are great.
How can we leverage on that space?
Now, what I am doing right now is breaking those barriers. the barriers within the Irish community. Now people are craving for our jollof rice. They have rice, so I don't just have kilishi in the store. I have jollof rice, so you can get mamashi jollof rice in that store. Now remember, that super value store is one of the biggest. They're like Tesco and Don's in Ireland. So you can get jollof rice. You have the kilishi, we have suya, we have rice and beans, and they love our food. They crave it. And then we do something like the markets, just like our markets here. So we have days to which we go to different markets. I do different markets where I have a full branded kitchen, an approved one, a commercial kitchen where I sell our food. And you see the line, Irish people queuing to eat Nigerian food.
So we're headed somewhere.
So absolutely.
How problematic is packaging? Because to a large extent, quite often when we hear about exports vis-a-vis Nigerian cuisines, packaging used to be the problem.
Yes, the biggest problem that we would have is packaging. So like branding. So first of all, if you want to do a food business, over there, packaging is very important to them. The first appearance, and then your labeling. They want to know what is the ingredients of your product. All of that must be clearly stated in your packaging. So if we are not, so it's an area where I think we food producers, marketers need to really focus on in terms of our products.
Let's talk about comparative advantage.
Yeah.
There is so much that can be found in Ireland that cannot be found in Nigeria and vis-a-vis. Okay, Irish potato, you and I know it's somewhat a staple today. But when it comes to things like yams, we will need to export stuff like that. Why am I asking you this question? Perhaps there's somebody seated and watching this program who wants to go into exporting yams, for instance. What will be your call to such a person? Okay,
so the first thing is, right now we have access to yam supply in Ireland. And where do they come from? They come from the likes of Brazil. And so if yam can come from Brazil, definitely yam can come from Nigeria. And Nigeria is closer. And what we are trying to do now is to see how we can get access to direct flights from Nigeria to Ireland. This will help us. Yes, the cargo, even the passenger flight. So the cargo, the passenger, this is a big area where we are looking to right now that should happen. And this will open door for a lot of opportunities. In terms of cargo food business, I have seen that there's so much opportunity that both countries can benefit in terms of food, in terms of, in a lot of ways. So like the beans, even rice, all of these things are being imported into Ireland as well. So why can't we from Nigeria? So the opportunities are there.
We have an export promotion council. Can't we leverage on such a government body to see that we enhance, this interaction between Nigerians and the diaspora, as it were?
Yeah, we had a conference last year, and I know that the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, they were greatly involved, which was July last year. So there was a lot of interaction between the Irish government and the export promotion. We had the Minister for Trade in attendance. So, and I think for me, the purpose of the summit was for us to start a conversation. There has been initially there's been trade relationship between Ireland and Nigeria, and which has existed in the past. So now we just want to open up that area, the opportunity for us to begin to have that conversation again and bring, in terms of food, in terms of the products that we have, of what benefit they are great. Yesterday I had kunu, the sobo, and I had tiger nuts. These are healthy drinks. That's right. So, which means that if the likes of me would have to do, we have somebody in Ireland who is actually doing the sobo drink. I think she does the production from the UK. So if I want to, so that means that I will be exporting, I'll be bringing those tiger nuts, all the ingredients from Nigeria.
We also have
and then we process them. Yes. So we process them in Ireland. So it is easier when you bring your raw ingredients, like the suya now, for the ingredient for my suya and the kilishi. I get my meat in Ireland, but the local traditional ingredient, which is the suya yaji.
So for you, the
transportation.
quest is, if we must do agribusiness
Yeah.
between Nigeria and Ireland,
Yeah.
and probably the diaspora, let government work on having direct flights to most of these
It is
places.
non-negotiable. It is, and the environment is ripe and ready enough.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.